Okay, today I'm very excited because me and my friend Cyril Hobbins, the toy maker from Kenilworth and the artist, have been invited to take photographs at this beautiful place. So this is the Alvis car company. And we're going to pop in and see a gentleman and have a look around the cars and do a little bit of filming, a bit of photography. So I'm going to go in now inside the building and start doing some photographs.
So yes, that's when I finished my apprenticeship in January '66. I went straight to work into the car shop, building the last 100 cars, and I was mainly on engines and sub-assemblies. The decision to go and work in the car shop changed my whole life because of other events. I then, in 1966, in August, then went into the fighting vehicle shop and worked, and then stayed with fighting vehicles all the rest of my working life. It's at Alvis. I didn't aspire to become any high-powered management or anything, but I preferred hands-on. I loved working hands-on. But I did become foreman in 1983 of the Alvis test site at Baggington, and I then became a team leader. They changed the title, and I stayed with the company until it closed in Coventry in 1999. I was beginning to wonder what on earth was I going to do for the rest of my working life, and I went downstairs one Sunday morning to make a cup of tea, and a free newspaper had come through the door, one of those advertising papers, and I picked this newspaper up just to throw it in the bin, and I saw an Alvis triangle on the back page, and it was advertising for a workshop technician for this place, Red Triangle, and I thought, well, that's my job. And I phoned up on the Monday morning, and they'd given me the job by 5 o'clock at night. So I had two jobs at once because the jobs overlapped for a week, and I came here, and I've been here then and worked here until I retired at 65, but continued to come back to do all sorts of little jobs for them on an as required basis. And I now do the photography and the video of the sales cars, and a bit of training when they start new people on and things like that, and any other way I can help. And so it's I'm totally an Alvis person through and through. I think if you cut my bones, I'd have Alvis in them like a stick of rock, you know. But
have you ever had an Alvis car?
Yes, I've got one. Yes, I own one. Not only the last 2 years. It's not one of the more prestigious models, but it's in beautiful condition. It was affordable, and myself and another very good friend, we purchased it, and we have a lot of pleasure from it. Yeah.
And here one, which I find very interesting. If we just open this car up here, and we look here, and we look in the corner here, and on the corner it says Barder. So this is Douglas Barder's record to all his car, and interesting things he's put on it. If you look here, he's put Thursday, May the 13th, please. Apparently he was quite dictatorial. He knew what he wanted, and he didn't hesitate to tell him exactly how he wanted it. So here's the records on Douglas Barder's car. I have actually videoed the car. The car is in private ownership, so I've covered the number plate up, so we no need to see that. So you'll see the car a little bit later on. A quick interview with Ian Simpson about the what's this called, Ian?
Well, this is where we make new Alvis cars. We did two different styles, two different standard designs based on the 30s chassis, which creates one of these, or the 60s chassis, which I haven't got to show you at the moment, but I can show you one later on. And what we do is we take the original car, we totally strip it down to its components. The car is laser measured by professionals, and we then recreate that body. So this is a wooden buck that's been made from a Graber, which is a Swiss bodied Alvis. And the car was brought in, measured, that was created, and then the bodywork is made from sheet aluminium in the traditional way, and it's mated then to a heavy chassis, which is I can show you this one here. So this is actually a 30s car, so that's the 30s chassis, but the 60s chassis is not dissimilar from that. It's a similar style, and all these sheets have been formed from aluminium sheeting, so you've made the wings with all the various curvatures. It's an ash frame they use, which is quite heavy, so that's all created. So ash is very well used in car manufacture because it's lightweight and very strong, and it's got a slight touch of flexibility about it as well. The bodies are aluminium bodies. We do the upholstery here, we do the engines, we do pretty much everything is done in-house here in Kenilworth, and we've got the skills and the technology to do that. And these are made to order. They take probably 18 months to 2 years to make a complete car. They're obviously not cheap, but we have got orders, which is why you're seeing these coming through at the moment.
Sheet over there, so a few different pieces to make it workable for by hand, and then we weld it together, clean it up, and that's this finish.
So this is aluminium?
That's on there, yeah. And there's a wide edge around the front, which then goes into the flange for the wheel arch.
Chassis who does this?
Yeah.
And what machinery do you use to do this then?
Well, this is a hand wheel.
Is that a hand wheel down there, is it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The folders at the back there. So this is predominantly stretching. This is one that's in sort of process at the moment. It's a bit rough, but this is going to be the boot.
So you form that to the shape of this then,
yeah, and then I'll trim it back, edge it, and then that'll be ready for clinching when we've got a clinching edge to put around it, which gets machined in. Then the rollers over there, the Jenny, which is a bit behind that, turns as flanges up.
So how long have you worked here then, Paul?
I've been here a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Well, 3 years actually now. I lose track
like
of
it,
time.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah, it's sheet metal worker. This is as good as it gets, really.
Yeah, you're living the dream. You're living the dream.
The bonnet on the 4.3 there, that's the last job I've just finished.
Is that the one with the air fins?
Yeah.
Fins, yeah.
Yeah. So we've
Talk
got.
us through that?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. So we ordered this offline. This is the punch. I'm going to set that up in the fly press, and then you have to make a guide. So this will go onto the panel. Lock up to the tool, and then to keep them all in line, it sits in the V's. Well, you can see that, and then I'll just go down, space down each one.
So every one of them
it's a little bit
is
a louver, yeah. But it keeps them in a straight line, as you can see, and equally spaced. You've got to get repetitiveness, so you wouldn't want one
slightly out of line. Well, that's not going to happen.
So it's all about the setting up.
Yeah. Are these all handmade and all these brass castings and stuff?
I think they're from upstairs. I think the majority is from as parts, isn't it? That we get, and they get refurbished and.
So what model is this car then? What's this Alvis here?
It's the Vanden Plas, isn't it?
Oh, this is the Vanden Plas, is it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the Vanden Plas style body. It's it'll be a 4.3, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, 4.3 litre. It's the same. The one that we got up in the showroom. It's the same engine. It's a 4.3 litre fuel injected engine. Basic body style took Alvis through the 60s till they ceased production in 67. This is actually a twin headlight model, so it's slightly one of the later models. But the basic body style was designed by a company, a coach building company called Graber, based in Switzerland. And prior to that model, cars were like this. They were the sort of 50s style, which is a nice car, but it's a curved 50s style car. And then they went to Grabers to say, we're looking for a car to take us into a new period of Alvis. And they came up with this basic body shape here. And they liked Alvis. Alvis had a good relationship with Graber, so they actually used to put their own bodies onto them. So Alvis used to provide chassis to them, and they would make their own Graber-bodied Alvis. And then we've got one here which is actually a new version coming through the system, but you get the idea. It's got a different sort of front to it, and that's the basic Graber style on that particular car. They did lots of different designs, This is slightly Aston Martin looking, this one. Yeah, well, as you can see, this basically are sort of scrap cars or abandoned cars that we've picked up over the years, and they're just kept here. And basically, they've all got a V5 certificate. So if somebody says, right, okay, I'd like the look of that car, or it's got, you know, I want to restore it, we can actually put that car back onto the road. It would cost a lot of money to do it, and in fact, one or two of them looking at them, in fact, are far too gone for that. So they're ideal for spares if it's a rare part or something we can restore, but it's here. It's, you know, they're not costing us anything. They are a supply of spare parts for people if they need them, or as I say, all of these have got documentation, so we can actually restore any of those cars and put them on the road. If somebody likes a particular car or finds out it belonged to his father or something, then obviously we can restore it for them. So
you'd call them probably barn finds. That's how I...
Yeah, they are. They've been collected over many years, these cars.
I see there's one over there restoring it. Can we just have a chat about that one, Ian?
Well, I know nothing about it.
When we say barn finds,
Yeah.
Now that's a barn find, isn't it?
Yeah, that looks as though it's had a few hens laying eggs in that one. Yeah, which is.
They could bring this back to. I mean, it looks.
It's an early TD. Yeah, it's arguable. The problem with a car like that is that it's so savaged by rust that actually, you know, you end up building a new car anyway. So yeah, we can do it. There's not a problem. But it would. I think, you know, you probably need, and well, you would. You need, and it's like you've seen the new ones being built. You'd do the same process here. It would be a new chassis, new body. There wouldn't be that much you could keep off a car like that, to be honest. I mean, these were picked up when probably these cars were a 10th or a 20th of the value they have today. So they've been probably acquired for nothing or next to nothing. But they are here. You know, they've been saved to a degree, and they will be useful for some in the future.
Well, thank you very much, Ian. I'll just have a couple of shots of this. That's a few years' work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's it?
So this is another batch of Alvis cars. There's just too many to mention. They're just... If you're a car enthusiast, which I like my cars, love my cars, never expected in a million years to go to these ones. And in a few minutes we're actually going to go upstairs and look at the car of Douglas Bader.
Do you want to go upstairs now? You come upstairs.
Okay, so I'm now at a car facility, and inside the car is the model is, what is the model in?
Yeah, it's a TC21.
TC21, and the owner is Douglas Bader. Was Douglas Bader, of course it was Douglas Bader. I'm just going to turn you around and look at the car. I don't want to include the number plate, so I'm just going to show you the car. This is the car, owned by the man himself, Douglas Bader. And I'm just going to go round the car. And when did he own this car, Ian?
I'm not sure, but it's an early 50s car, so I would imagine he probably had it new, but I'm guessing.
Yeah.
The only modifications to with things were that there's normally you have a dip switch button for the headlights, which is normally down by the pedals, foot pedals, whereas here it's been put down here by the seat, so you can use it with his hand. And also the clock here is obviously off a plane.
So this is Douglas Bader's Alvis T120. TC21.
TC21 100 because it was one of the very few cars in the early 50s that could actually genuinely do 100 miles an hour. A four-seater car that was quite unusual. There was only probably a handful of cars that could do that. Hence the designation, the TC 100. So the 100 represents 100 miles an hour.
So it does 100 miles an hour. So Douglas Bader's been in here, obviously trying to push 101, I would have thought. And there you have it. Douglas Bader's car. Is it? I'm just going to pop over here because we've got the original clock dating back from 1919, would that be?
Well, that's when the factory was supposed to, it's probably a bit later than that, but it was probably in Mark Premises. So I guess it's probably a 30s clock, I think.
So it's a gents clock, famous gents clock. So this is their original clock from their clocking on machine.
Yeah, well, it's not actually, it's just a clock, isn't it?
Yeah, that could be. That might be the.
It would be from sort of inside.
That might be the slave rather than the master. Oh, it could be the master. You know,
yeah.
in factories they had one and the others followed it, and so it could be the master. Yeah. So we can have a quick look at some of these from the factories and the manufacturing days. Fabulous. And we haven't got to the bottom why they call it Alvis yet.
It's not generally known. It's they think it might be amalgamation of AL for aluminium and Viz for speed, but they're not actually sure.
And where was the first factory then? Where was that in?
That's the Holyhead Road.
Oh, is that in Holyhead Road?
Road, yeah. He took over an engineering company, I think they were called Honeywell, in Coventry, and then I think they obtained a French car and they took it apart to look at the engine. They thought, yes, we can make one of these, and then they started making cars, and that was 1919. So they've been building them ever since, and they always made decent sized engines. They never made 700, 800 cc's. Yeah. They always made sort of 1500 up.
If they're going to make one, they made it.
So they were quick and they were rugged and they lasted longer and they got a very good, reliable reputation.
Mm. Okay, thank you for that, Ian. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Okay, we're upstairs on the first floor, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of cars around here. Some beautiful cars, but we're on the first floor. So how did they get here? Well, here, as I've just had it pointed out to me, is a lift. So they go on a lift, and they come up, and they end up here. So even in them days, they were very, very clever. Oh, that's just breathtaking. So, young Cyril Hobbins, what do you think of our tour around the Alvis plant?
Well, thanks to Ian, he's allowed us in today, and the boss here. It's just an incredible, just beyond our imagination or expectations. There's more here than we thought. And the people are so good in here, they've allowed us to interview them and take photographs. Very, very impressed.
Trying to get the code number for the door down there. There's nobody in it.
Well, this is the parts packing department, the looks of it, where the spares go out. And this is the final part of our walk around the plant.
I think one of the best mornings we've had for a long time.
Well, I think we've peaked, haven't we? We can't get better than this, can we?
No.
This is it. So I'd like to say thank you, Cyril, for coming with me.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you for bringing me.
You're welcome, matey.
Cheers.
So I'm going to wrap this video up now and take a few more pictures, and we'll get this put together and see you soon.